Hello and welcome back to the Only Fools Love Horses YouTube channel. And the jump season really is getting into a very nice gear now. We just had the first grade one of the UK and Ireland season with the Bet Victor Champion Chaser in Down Roll. Envoy Allen winning for the third year, as well as the Charlie Hall Chase won by Jello for Venetia Williams. The day just turned into November. She already had her first big winner of the season. We are back to preview the action from this weekend. We're going to be talking mainly about the Grand Sefton, which is one of the big handicaps of the season, one of the big early handicaps of the season. There's also some greater racing around from the tracks at Wincanton. We've got the Rising Stars, the Elite Hurdle, also the Badger Beers, and there's some nice racing extra on Friday as well with the Holden Gold Cup. Plenty to talk about, gentlemen. Lee, we may as well get it in early. Last week's video, we put up some nice horses. Harry put up Envoy Allen. Now he got the value. He put the horse up at 2-1, and it went off 3-10. But me and you, Lee, we put up Alexi. We were quite sweet on him. Was there any others that I've missed? We definitely had a couple of winners.
Well, we had Take No Chances that I put up, and that was first and second. That looked like a winner all the way. You had Strong Leader. Yeah, we did all right. To be fair, we were all against Golden Ace. I said it was the worst price favourite of the weekend. And look, don't get me wrong, that was too bad to be true. So you can't really count your winnings off that, because it wasn't nice seeing her travel so well and then all of a sudden blow up. So there's clearly something under that. But no, what a week! I think Alexi, you kind of knew. You knew from a mile out. It was pretty sweet watching it, because I remember us speaking on the live saying I was going to cheer it on, and I did, lads. I really did. I said for a mile out, I was like, this thing won't get beat from here. And I saw the handicap has not been too nice to any of them that finished in that Welsh Champion hurdle, has he?
Yeah, he's given Celtic Dino £3 collateral. Ouch.
Yeah.
I was quite happy with Lexi, to be honest. Little insight to when we record these videos, we saw a little chat beforehand, and I remember looking at the Racing Post and seeing 13 to Alexi. I went, oh, that's a great price. And I saw everywhere else was like 9-2, 4-1, and I was like, oh, I need to have a bit of that 13-2. And then that was nice. Lee, you had definitely a few winners on the weekend. I'm pretty sure you had some horses rolling in some Accas here and there, and Alexi was definitely part of them. So you must have had a decent weekend.
I did, lads. I had a good weekend. Alexi, 13-2, went off 13-8. Someone I posted out for some questions for, which we'll maybe get on to the couple later on. But someone asked why we're recording now rather than on a Thursday after the decks come out. We'll do the two shows. One is to try and get that value. And like I say, look, 13-8, it went off. And we had 13-2. We posted up. Me and Ash fancied him. We had Strong Leader as well. Me and Ash. Harry really liked Take No Chances, so we had the forecast there. That was a good each way player. And Harry was so sweet on Envoy Lane. Like, he actually convinced me. I would have said, like, look, I love the old boy, and he was going for his third one, but when Harry
that's 6 times he's won there. 6 times at that meeting.
You were adamant, Harry. You were very adamant, and I'm glad you were. Look, I managed to get it. Yeah, I want to say I think it was 4 winners and a non-runner. I took Protectorate, but I did mention Gigello was the each way play at 6s, and he's went and won. But I was going on to the Changing Man.
Yeah.
Than I was. He got hampered early doors, like badly hampered, as I would have said. I had to come around the houses, try to get clear daylight, come there tank, and I thought, here we go. I'm in for a couple of G, and it didn't quite work out because
Henry's friend won.
Henry's friend battled on, but on the morning show I says the danger at 16s, the each replay is Henry's friend. So I was kicking myself. The one look, I had a little saver, but it still didn't quite get the chunk that I wanted. But look, we had a very good weekend, and hopefully we've got more winners for you. So that's why we do it for the lad asking, I think it was Keith, his name, and we'd like to do the 2 shows. So if you're on Twitter, 10:30 a.m. every Saturday, we'll cover all the ITV racing. That's got the proper prices there, and you can get the best odds, them extra places if you want. But this is trying to just sneak that extra bit of value, and that's why we do the video now.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also like, we're all 3 lads who have other lives away from Only Fools Love Horses kind of thing. So like it's just always been, it tends to be that Tuesday night when we record is the day that we usually have free, and also just like for like editing purposes and publishing purposes, we record on a Tuesday, so it goes on a Wednesday morning. That gives it a nice bit of window before declarations kind of thing. So like you say, if we put up a horse that doesn't get declared, that's a shame obviously, but if we put up, if we record on a Wednesday and it went out Thursday morning,
we can milk the shit out of it. I say it properly.
No, but like that would only be like 2 hours in the text, and then like
we've always been a Tuesday, haven't we? From day
always,
one.
Yeah. So it's just
Tuesdays now. So
yeah, it's just how it's just worked. And I know some of these anti-post prices that we put up, they are nice, and it's really nice when they come in. I know sort of not everyone can get on kind of thing, and if they can, it's probably not for too much kind of thing. But we're just trying to put up our fancies, and they're usually the same fancies we have on the Saturday anyway. So there you go. But we're going to be doing pretty much the same type of show as we did last week with previewing race and then sort of anything else. We're going to be previewing less races. There are just less big races to talk about. There's some nice grade twos, but don't know what the ground's going to be like at Wincanton this weekend. So we're just going to put one race under the microscope and then anything else. Before that, we're talking about what's happened this week, gents. Not sort of too long on this because I suppose, it's probably been said quite a lot, but like we just want to mention a couple of horses. So like Envoy LN, Harry, I'll go to you first because I think we've all got a massive admiration for the horse. 10 grade ones, champion bumper winner. He won at the Cheltenham Festival as a novice hurdler. He fell in the Marsh novice chase when he went off 4-9. Obviously the change between Gordo, then going to Henry de Bromhead. He's now won 3 Betfix champion chases, and he looked as sprightly as ever at 11. It's just pretty remarkable, wasn't it, on Saturday?
There was not one point in that race where I thought he'd get beat. He jumped so well. He travelled so strongly. It was literally like that. But it was so good seeing him like that. Like you said, he's 10 or 11 now? But he's been to that meeting more than 6 times. But he's won there 6 times. Now that is ridiculous. And these aren't easy races that he's winning. He beat Jerry Cullum last year. No, sorry, the year before. Hewick was last year, wasn't it? It might have been Jerry Cullum actually last year. You might have disappointed Jerry Cullum.
He beat Hewick and then
Jerry beat him one year.
He beat Conflate.
That was it. But these are the names that he's been put up against for every single year, and then he goes the same sort of prep. It was nice to see that Henry say when he said beforehand they're not going to make any plans with him until after the race, and I thought that was nice because you kind of knew what you were going to get on Saturday, which is what I said on the live. I couldn't believe the price that he was because you knew that this was going to be his early season target, and we can get the trumpets out, but at the end of the day, he's only going to harm me because I just topped up at 3-1 when I probably should have left him because I'd already backed it too.
He touched 4.
I couldn't believe it. He's like we said, he was the best horse in the race. There's some decent horses in there, but it was really good. I've also got a bone to pick with someone. I don't know who it was, but they commented on this YouTube channel last week about my haircut, and I was not happy. I saw it and I was pissed off because I thought, cheeky fuckers.
We'll chip in. Chip in.
Yeah, cheaper than £1. You get this GoFundMe started and I'm happy you go and have an haircut, but it's Cheltenham November meeting next week, so leave me alone. Leave my haircut alone. My dad's bald. My old man is bald, so I'm trying as long as I can to keep it. As long as I can. And I know.
Should we have a game of guess who he looks like? Because we've done that last year and it worked well, actually. We'll have a game. No, I think you look like
you can't say Luke Harvey.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
When he's on Dumb and Dumber.
Look,
I've got no room at all. I'm hating this.
I would like to say to the person who commented that, I mean, I like the fact you've looked at all 3 of us. Me with my very, very long hair. It is mullety, and you've gone, Harry's is the worst kind of thing. So thank you very much for that. That's a bit of a confidence boost for me. Yeah, look, NYLM was very good. I think Harry's good at that. What else do we have on the weekend? We had the Charlie Hall, again, like another horse that we put up on the video. You put a sort of Jello as the each way play lead. I put a Pick Dory as thinking he was like the closer and closer I get to the event, the more I think he wins, and he nearly won. He nearly went and won. Just interesting to see where they go with the both those horses going forwardly, because it seems like Pick Dory, even though the King George was the plan for him, they've now taken that off the table and they're going to sort of campaign a Mascot chase, maybe Peterborough chase, maybe into Sylvan Echo Conti chase, sort of similar route. And what do you do with Jello? Is he a horse that's going to mop up these grade 2s going forward? Could he even break into grade 1 status? What did you make of the Charlie Hawley?
Bad race, I would have said, Ash, to be honest. And I thought Pick Dory jumped for fun. When I seen the price on Saturday morning when we were looking at, and you would have been shocked. I thought when I say his Pictoria was probably the one.
Yeah.
Just at the price, I thought it was just overpriced because they can get in that rhythm as well with him. And look, Gigello, I won't be battling for a King George, that's for sure. I think he might win a grade 2 or whatever along the way. And I think them races you mentioned for Pictoria, he'll mop up them because the bigger guns won't go. Yeah, look, it was a bad race for me, I have to say.
That's fair enough. Look, gents, anything else from the week or the weekend just gone by where we sort of put in any eye catch we had? So Lee, I'll go to you.
There was a bloke won the Breeders' Cup the other day.
I tell you, if he had a couple more Cheltenham horses, he'd probably go well around Cheltenham, wouldn't he?
Probably might, but if he gets going, he's a man to follow. W.P. Mullins, he's called.
Yeah.
Keep him on your bloody radar. No, 25, like Ethical Diamond. What a ride from Dylan Brown Monagle, to come around the houses, and he told Willie that beforehand, that's how I'm going to ride him as well, which is mad. But yeah, look, congratulations to them because you have to roll the dice, and if you're not in it, you can't win it. So well done to them. Notable speech. I mean, you mentioned on the show, Ash, it was fancy for the evening meeting there the other day at Delmar. He won it well as well under a nice ride on a Buick to cut to the inside and just quicken away. Look, any of the eye catchers, I wouldn't have said nothing standing out, but yeah, it was a good weekend for a race, and I would have said bar young Tommy Jakes. Look, we mentioned on the show the other day, and I'll mention again, and there is a GoFundMe page set up. I did tweet it out, and we can put it on our page. And there's also numbers there as well. If anybody does need any support, just go and check them out. They're pinned to our profile on the Twitter page. Yeah, look, absolute tragic circumstances and scenes there with Tommy Jake. So thoughts with his family and friends. And if anybody does need to talk, we are here. And please go and support each other, especially these young jockeys.
Yeah, I completely echo your points, and I just think some of the tributes that we've seen in racing over the last sort of few days have been really good. I thought Neil Callan was really good on Racing TV. Yeah. Jack Callan, I think his son was best mates pretty much with Tommy, and it's just a pretty horrid situation. He's riding it.
Ash, why don't look? I'm very vocal about mental health stuff. I say it all the bloody time, but. What we need to do more with racing and these young lads, especially coming into the game, but everyone, look, 19, go and check in on people. You might think they're all right, but they're not behind the scenes. So make sure you keep asking, how people are, and check.
And racing just is especially for sort of the younger kids who maybe can't drive or anything like that. I mean, what are you doing? You're riding out in the morning, you're going racing, you're coming back. In sort of 5 or 6 hours time, you're riding out again. You're going racing, and that's the cycle. That is so fairly. It's very difficult. Yeah, it's very long.
Social media is brutal. People joke on about Harry's hair, but these things little things can trigger. We joke on about that, right? But things can spiral, and it also negativity harbors negativity. If you're putting a negative post on, just have a think of what consequences that can lead to. People chipping in different stuff, in these young lads and lasses seeing this as well. Yeah, just have a think on it instead of sitting behind the keyboard and waffling crap, basically.
100%. Yeah, completely echo your thoughts and your words there, Lee. And as you said, go check out our Twitter page where we put out a post to all the helplines that are very relevant in this situation. Harry, any sort of other horse you want to mention? Any eye catchers from the weekend just gone by?
Yeah, not from Saturday, and because I know we've mentioned it, but Friday there was a really good card at Utoxeter. Just a few horses that I want to mention. Lump Sum made his chasing debut. I thought he jumped brilliantly.
Lovely.
I thought he was fantastic. Jax Jr. as well. He was very impressive the way that those two both jumped, and the way that Lump Sum took him basically to the second last, and Jax Jr. pinged it, but Lump Sum absolutely just bolted away with him. Just a couple in the Mares Maiden Hurdle. La Conquière.
I hope you have.
La Conquière was second or something in the Grade 2 Aintree bumper, and she had to dig deep to beat Dream Shadow for the Fergal's yard. Those two are going to be, picking up some pretty decent horse, and I think they're both black type fillies. And just from the there was in the novice hurdle, Just Golden was given a pretty quiet introduction. There was plenty of money in just before the off. But the Skeltons have been improving significantly. I know it's one of the questions actually that someone has asked us on YouTube. So I think we may as well cover it now about the Skeltons and their novices improving significantly from their first runs. I personally think this is a really good thing. I think it's a really, really good thing. They're well schooled. They're well, when you see a Skelton horse over a hurdle, they have seen it. They're incredibly intelligent, especially when they're in time for a young novice. They're really, really good. But it's good as well because I think the endurance that they're going to have throughout the year is going to be much better than bolting up by 15, 20 lengths, which they could. I guarantee Just Golden will be a better horse than Top Jimmy, for example, from what we saw on Friday. But it's good to see that the improvement is going to be there throughout the season because they're going to need it when Willie comes in and he has a big Aintree, he has a big Cheltenham, he has a big Christmas. The Skeltons are going to need it, but it's good.
Yeah, that was a comment we had on our Twitter earlier. What do you make of the Skeltons start to the season? Younger horses, much needing the run, prepared for back-end season targets, whereas some of the older horses fit and ready to go. Harry looked to be annoyed to be collared on Take No Chance at Wetherby. It seems to be what you said there. That was from Louis Burkett. It seems to be very much the case. Those younger horses are coming for their runs. Fortune to Mare, big example. I would never have backed him in a million years for that grade 2 at Cheltenham, based on his first run, and he looked like a completely different horse. So, I think those younger horses, like a lot of yards, they are coming on for their runs. Just for me, very quickly, Indemnity was behind Alexi in the Lavassa Handicap Hurdle weekend. Thought he travelled really, really nicely into the race. He's a big improver. He got given the opening handicap mark of 101, and he bolted up and made it look very easy at Huntingdon in April, and did very much the same at Warwick when bolting up there of 108. Then he won on seasonal reappearance at Market Raisin, and then his fourth handicap run was this weekend, where he ran into Alexi, who seems like everyone and their dogs was on kind of thing, like it couldn't lose. Was only given £1 by the handicapper that will be winning this season. Who else? I don't want to make this a weekly thing, but I happen to have strolled into the same room that I was in last week, and it happens to be
you're such a bellend.
Andy Honeyball is indeed still the king. I thought that Gabriel's Getaway ran a big race behind Teddy Blue in the 205 at Ascot.
That horse, by the way, since going to Durham, that horse was an absolute, yoke last year. Not a yoke, but do you know what I mean? Like an absolute rascal. And since joining Durham, John, he improves a lot, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's mad to think this horse. Did he win a Betfair Hurdle a couple of years ago, or maybe around?
Yeah, was he second behind Orcan Risk? I think.
I think he was third to First Street in the 2022 Betfair, and then I'm trying to look now.
I'll tell you what it was. It was it not the Manus horse that Emmett Mullins won?
That was in the race. That was in the Orcan race. Yeah, it did run in a Betfair Hurdle, finished third. But that race itself, Gabriel's Getaway was second, running £7 out the handicap.
General Madrano from that race, Ash, as well as an eye catcher.
Yeah, definitely. I just think it was a good race. Like Special Caddo, I backed and I thought ran well, and be interested to see what the Irish handicapper does to him. Just think that Gabriel's Getaway is a nice improver, and I really kind of I love Anthony Honeyball, but I also really get so annoyed sometimes by his campaigning. So he likes to campaign his horses really really forwardly, and they always get a bit of a lashing in the handicap. So this horse was rated 124 when running behind Bad at Kempton, then ran £7 out of the handicap this weekend, finished second, ran a big race, is now rated 133. It's just frustrating because that means it's effectively up £9 in the handicap, but whatever. That was definitely an eye catcher. And then Sunday, don't know what the handicap is going to do to Resplendent Grey for winning the Colin Parker. I think he could have a touch too much weight for the Coral Gold Cup, but I actually like the horse in behind, handstands, race fit in a Betfair Chase. I will be backing him, I think. I thought 8-1 anti-post for handstands in the Betfair Chase was not a bad price at all. I think he can come on leaps and bounds, and I would not be surprised to see him be a Grade 1 winner this season.
I'd love to see Resplendent Grey in Hennessy. Oh, wouldn't he just, he's got that tenderness to just be behind the bridle for 4 miles and then, just keep kicking on. I really like him. I think he's a really good horse.
He might have too much weight to my eye. I don't think there's many horses that have won off a mark of 150 plus, and he definitely will be 150 plus. So we'll see. Yeah, that was it. That was our week review, and then we are now on to our week preview with the Grand Sefton being the main race. We're going to be put under the microscope. King Turgeon 6-1, topping the market alongside White Rhino. Johnny Who's 8s, Gabriot is 9s, Excello's 10s, Colonel Harry 14s, Ferro Bon Bruce same price as is Jet Plane and Hour Power, and Vintage Fizz, and it's 20-1. Bar those lads, look, it's a good race. It's always a difficult race, I think, because you've got a mixture of horses who have really been targeted to this race and had a race to get themselves fit, and you've also got horses in there who really like the track. Obviously, King Turgeon won this race last year and is coming back first run of the season, so it's a bit of a matchup between that. Lee, I'll go over to you first of all. Big wide open handicap. What do you make of the race?
Look, yeah, it's very wide open, Ash. I like Art of Diplomacy if taking the chance here, but has 4 entries. So look, I wouldn't be playing now. That's definitely not advised to play yet. 25s, 33s area at current odds, but I was travelling fair enough when coming down at Chepstow. Would have won the race against Coco Mademoiselle, but tipped up at the last. Had my money on, which so I was annoyed by that, but kept the same mark, being in good form. Lord knows the time of day. Yeah, just thought it was overpriced, but Ferrero Bamboo as well goes back for a 3rd stab, I think it is. It keeps showing up at the Aintree and runs well here. Couple of seasons ago, ran close enough 3rd there. I think it was 3 or 4 lengths beat off. I want to say £7 higher, has run off £3 higher recently and back on a mark of last season's running it. Disappointed, but was only sent off 10-1. Just faded out of it late on. I don't think the trip's a problem, just whether he's on his game is the difference. But he did win first time out in the rehearsal trace when beating the Changing Man. I think it was last season, I want to say. Yeah, look, Venetia, she's only had a couple of runners in the last few weeks, and that's literally a couple too. And she's had a winner at the weekend there. So, yeah, look, maybe it's just she'll just start to kick into gear now. Currently good to soft. The shower's about, Ferrero Bamboo at around 14s or whatever it is. Happy to roll it in. Art of Diplomacy, I want to see which engagement is taken up. I think there's 4 engagements. Maybe it's even 5 off the top of my head, but yeah, interesting which one they take the route for, because they've got so many options in which one they find easiest or maybe suit best. So Ferrero Bamboo, Art of Diplomacy.
Yeah, I was agreeing with you there on from Ferrero Bamboo. I thought you made a very good case, and is exactly the case I was going to make. Just looks well handicapped. Obviously goes round this course well, goes over the national fence as well. I thought he'd definitely have a chance 14s. If I was to just pick 2 more, White Rhino 6-1, I think it's just I think he's the horse in this, to be honest. I think he's very unexposed still. Obviously ran in the Jukebox Man's Corto Star. He unseated that day. I think he's still just very unexposed in handicaps. And first run of the season, I imagine this has been a big plan. It's a race that Oliver Greenhill and Josh Crayo have tried to win and successfully. I think they successfully won in the past. Yeah, Gaskill. Yeah. I can't remember if he won this or ran well in this and then won the 3 mile. He might have won this, to be fair. Yeah. So, yeah, I think they just would have had this as the big target for him, and he just looks a little bit unexposed of 141. And just I wouldn't back this anti-post, so just watch if he declares him. Rian for Gordon Elliott. I want to just highlight him a second. I've got a fairly strong case behind him because he is running off here of 137, which is his Irish mark. He ran off 132 at Sligo and beating Jesse Evans, who's rated 151, and Faisal Mo is rated 135. Absolutely smashed him up. That was off level weights. Jesse Evans was second behind Western Fold in the Galway Plato this season. He made that look very easy. Now it's off mark 132. Obviously up £5 that, but the British handicap hasn't seemed to give him any pounds for coming over the Irish Sea, which is a bit of a gift potentially. Chased home James de Burley at Punchtown last season. Was really the only horse to do that in that handicap chase there.
His record when he's fresh, he's won 4 out of the last. He's won 4 times when he's been fresh, and he just seems tailor-made. He ran pretty well in the Irish National. He was 5th behind Hoti Kalers. I'm thinking it. Look, in a race like this, he's going to have to carry top weight. But I was reading that, if you haven't already read, the jumpers to follow that Paul Ferguson kindly provided us with, that we obviously get the competition. They were very sweet on Johnny Who when he goes out first time out, and I just thought I just can't get out of my head. And there's been plenty of money for him recently. He's stayed pretty solid at 8-1. He'd probably be where I'll be wanting to stick with. I think John Joe's yard will start coming good. The only problem is it's just the weather, isn't it, Ash? It's just you can't be trusting some horses because the rain hasn't come, or vice versa. But if you put a gun to my head, Johnny Who would be who I wanted to be on at this moment in time, mate.
No guns.
There's no guns being put to your head, though. Don't worry. So that is the Grand Sefton. That is our horses for the race this weekend. Big handicap. There's plenty of other races as well. Rising Stars, Novices Chase. Got the Elite Hurdle. There's a Badger Beers. Plenty of races. Holden Gold Cup as well. So we'll go straight into our weekend best bets around that. And I'm going to leave the floor to Lee because of me and Harry have only got one apiece. We really are slacking, whereas Lee is going to put forward 5 big uns. So
say one apiece. Mine definitely won't be running.
Very good, very good. Lee, I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, look, Haldon Gold Cup on Friday. It was an interesting race. Look, I don't know if Caliph de Burley is actually going to go. Really a horse I really like. I think jumps beautiful and just, look, bagged that grade 1. Kind of was on the radar, but then won in Merry's and Egg and Spoon race there at Cheltenham before pulling up thingy. Look, he's an interesting contender, but the Skeltons have got Thistle Ask. I don't know if he's gonna run. But look, I've took a chance. The 16-1 available, 3 places you can get. So each way 16-1. Thistle Ask bolted up in 2 races, and one was only just last week. But the recent 2 races looked like just joined in. Got plenty more in hand. Look, I'll just take a chance off a low weight on a horse that like the ground, whereas I don't know if everyone will, and I don't know if everyone will take his chance. So 3 places each way. Look, this video goes out on the Wednesday, so hopefully people can still get on the early doors. But Thistle Ask. And then I like Danielle on Saturday on the flat. Look, I'm going back on the flat. I don't know why I'm doing it, but I just can't get away from Danielle. Like, she's lured us in again. She's in a listed race. She's dropping back in trip, which would be a slight concern, but she travelled well at Doncaster a few runs back. The winners were Consent was second. Sorry, the Haggis horses escaped me. Santorini Sun or Star?
Santorini Star.
Star. I was close enough, son. And Star.
Yeah.
Look, Santorini Star won it. In Consent was second. Them 2 went on to be the first and second. Consent end up changing the form round. First and second in the Group 1 on Arc weekend across at Longchamp. So the form didn't work out bad there. Form lines left, right, and centre for our last season and even this season. I just think dropping back into a listed race, she won't mind conditions. If there's any juice, she'll take it. There are plenty as well. And 11-4, I think is fair because I think she's definitely top rated. I just think she's got the best form as well. So Danielle across at Donny. Look, I think the 2 Nichols runners will win the graded races there. It's Wincanton, I think Rubord, going back to the scene of the crime kind of thing. What he's done the last couple of seasons there is went to Kempton for the listed race, won that, and then come here to win this race. That's been for the last 2 seasons. He's already bagged the Kempton race. He's back to take this, and I think it's as Harry would say, a piss poor race probably. So it's what he normally says, something like that. Just think it's a bad race in behind. And look, he's 8-11. I don't think it's a bad price. I know people moan about prices. I don't think it's a bad price. Look, and then there's Blue King Daru, who I thought was, I wouldn't say educational, but I think was learning on the job on the first day of chasing the last day. Ran up the horse of a Skelton runner, wrist to the ground or something it was called. Anyways, but ran right up the horse of it and had plenty in the tank. Is a multiple grade 2 winner over hurdles. bagged a grade 2 at the end of last season. It's Sandown on finale day, and then look, when chasing there, I thought it was a fair start to chasing career. Had plenty left in the tank. If it can brush up on the jumping over fences, I think it'd take a world of beating. I think them are bad in behind again as well. I don't think it's a strong race. I think the two of them. So Rhuboard 8 to 11 and Blue Kangaroo round 6 to 4 mark you can get. And I'd take the both of them. Then Nichols runners. Was there anything else I've got, Ash?
I think I miscounted. You've got 4, I think, to my knowledge, 4 horses.
Yes, so this will ask each race 16's Haldon Gold Cup. I'll take Danielle in the listed race at Donny, and I'll take the 2 Nichols runners, Blue Kangaroo and Rhuboard to get things off the fly at Wincanton as well. But yeah, that'll leave me.
For what it's worth, I agree with the 2 Nichols horses. They're again, they're not much for a prize kind of thing. They're not going to make you rich. Well, it actually depends how much money you put on them. But I think that Blue Kangaroo, as long as this one horse which I am going to mention doesn't go, I think he's got a penalty kick. And Rhuboard should probably be winning the elite head. I thought he was very good, and I thought he was there last time out in that listed race, and I think he will come on for it and hopefully win. Harry, I'm going to go to you. There is the Badger Beer. You're going to highlight a horse for the Badger Beer, because a lot will be down to the ground, I assume, because we don't know what the ground's going to be at Wincanton, but has been the last couple of years on the better side of things, and it's currently good ground at Wincanton. So I suppose, is it a case of hold all bets, but this is the horse you'd like if they run?
Yeah, look, Lowry's Bar is the horse that I'm going to mention. He was 4th at the Silver Trophy last year on his reappearance, and then he bumped into Jaguar on his first start over fences, who I was mad keen on at the festival, and he duly obliged. He's got some really good form. The problem is he has bled, and I don't think the hustle and bustle of a good to firm round fucking Wincanton, that's not going to do him any good. I'd imagine they'd probably go for a Coral Gold Cup or something like that, because softer ground, round Newbury, flat track, I think he could be dangerous round there. I really do. He's weighted. I can't think of the actual mark that he's got. I think he's at 1.4, maybe 1.48 or something like that.
Absolutely bang on, 1.48.
That is get stuck in territory. I think he's so well handicapped, but I know the issue is with his bleed. I don't think it was that bad, and he's had a nice rest since, and the Hobbs team are going good guns as well, but I don't think they'd risk him on fucking good to shit ground at Wincanton.
Can I just say though, would you say to people not to have a bet? We're trying to be as cautious as we can. Not to have a bet.
Well, I would not. 1,000,000%, 1 million, especially on a weekend like this. I think for like last week we had pretty good intention, because we knew we spoke. Katira was Harry Skelton had already been jocked up on Katira in the Bet365, and the Mayor's Hurdle, and he was already. You knew what was going. You knew what was going. Barring any accidents, those two were going, right? The only thing we said it with Dysart Enos as well. The only thing with Dysart Enos, she was literally taken out on the morning. So it wasn't as if you'd have got stung by it. So this weekend, do not go diving into anything unless you have a good fancy like Blue Kangaroo, for example. Where else is he going to go? That looks a fucking penalty kick for him. Rhubo, that's been the plan regardless of the ground for the last 6 to 12 months. He's going to go to the hurdle at Kempton, and then he's going to go to come to this. That's just the way I'd see it.
Just a quick mention, actually, Ashton, there was one, that's why it took me. It did White Rhino bleed as well. I think bled from the nose at least the last day.
And by caller, I'll find out.
Just sorry, these are off the top of my head, but just be cautious of them horses that are bleeding.
Bled from the nose, Doncaster.
Yeah, no, from the nose, but. Yeah, look, Lowry's Bars is definitely a horse to be interesting. But like I say, is about my art of diplomacy, and Harry's mentioned, look, just wait and maybe take a pull. But the horses what we're interested in anyway.
100%. For me, I'm going to give you a horse for this weekend. That's how we do things. And the horse I'm going to go for is Double Powerful. Is running, hopefully, fingers crossed, in the 130 at Aintree on Saturday. It's a limited novice handicap chaser at 3 mile 1. Now, is entered for the Rising Stars over 2.5 miles. Please, Mr. Mulholland. Yes, please, Mr. Mulholland, run him in this race. Because for just to start with, Derry Hassan Paddy is entered. It's taking up a lot of the market, 11 to 8 currently. Champagne Twist's in there, who's a nice horse. One Big Bang's there. I really would be fearful of Derry Hassan Paddy if they run, but I think there are reasons to take him on. Number one, first run of the season, and he was sort of well-minded last year. Like, he only had the 3 runs, I think, and he was sort of kept to softer ground. Number two, is he going to run, actually? Is that, like, it's obviously good soft ground at Aintree. Don't know how much rain they're going to be getting. They might take a pull. Number 3, Lucinda and Michael Scudamore are currently, Lucinda Russell and Michael Scudamore, currently 3 from 46. I think the horse are definitely needing their first runs, and then maybe they're just not really firing as well as they'd like to at this stage of the season. I don't think you can have that stat in your mind and back Derry Hassan Paddy with too much confidence. So then you get 11 to 8 Derry Hassan Paddy is a short enough price, whereas Double Powerful, really good race at Cheltenham last time out on chase debut. Really, really nice. I think that 2 mile 4 limited handicap chase, obviously limited handicap chase at Cheltenham, it's definitely going to be a race to follow.
What prices should be interest there?
4 to 1, 7 to 2, 7 to 2 Champagne Twist.
The three
Again,
are like interesting. Them two, Derry Hassan Paddy is a interesting horse for the season, but Champagne Twist, I think, is maybe under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, he could be. Obviously, he beat Pick Rocket Sandown in that EBF final, I think.
Yeah.
But since then, beaten 27 lengths, unseated, beaten 28 lengths, beaten 44 lengths. I don't know if that's sort of form I'm really too interested by. Double Powerful, I thought was really, really good at Cheltenham. Was given a lot to do and finished second, kept on. That was ahead of Crest of Fortune. Behind Crest of Fortune, was ahead of Major Fortune, ahead of Blenkinsop. I thought there was a really, really good race. Hopefully he can really improve from that. Step up to 3 miles, I think, is definitely a good thing. £2 by the handicapper is no issue. This is a race that he can win, and I hope that Mr. Mulholland obliges by running him in the race. 8-1. I'd probably be tentative. If I knew he was definitely going for the race, I'd have a pretty decent go at him, but obviously he's got that entry for the Rising Stars, so maybe just be careful. But I do really fancy him, and I think he's a big prize at 8-1 for this weekend. There we are, gentlemen. That is our weekend preview and weekend review of Grand Sefton this week, and obviously all the action that happened last weekend. If you did enjoy, please do make sure to like and subscribe on the video. We've been getting some nice numbers and some nice support for this jump season, so let's continue.
Apart from the haircut slander, so keep off that shit.
No, keep it up, please. We'll be back hopefully 10:30 a.m. on Saturday. We need to work out what we're all doing. It could just turn into a bit of a busy one for us this Saturday.
I'll be there.
Harry will be there. I am working, so I might try and pop in for 5, and Lee might be on a plane somewhere or landing off a plane. So.
Yeah, you can tell you need to listen to the fucking YouTube videos because he's fucking off to Spain on Friday.
I'm not definitely on the plane yet, but I might go, but there's no notes booked yet. But yeah, look, come and subscribe to the channel and hit the like button because it's all for free. But as well on the Twitter page, get stuck in on a Saturday morning and give away the questions. But remember, them numbers are going to be pinned for anybody who needs them. And yeah, just remember what you're rating and stay safe anyway.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we'll be back next week for the Cheltenham November meeting, which will be one that I'm sure we're all quite excited for. Best of luck having a play on any fancies. Please do it responsibly. But until next time, we'll see you very, very soon.